Hey, Pretty Girl Club, you read that title right. That's right, the one, the only, the Queen of Wakanda, Lupita Nyongo, is now dating the Dusty, the white man, Joshua Jackson. That is Jodie Turner-Smith's ex-husband. You know, the serial cheating guy. I've done multiple videos on this channel where not only did I predict the failure of his relationship with Jodie Turner-Smith, but I called out the hypocrisy that I see in the Black women empowerment space and in the divestment space, because they love to talk all this shit about exoticals in our relationships. They love to say that we only attract dusties. They make fun of women for going through breakups and turning into baby mamas and being cheated on. But why is there complete silence from the Black women empowerment space when it comes to Lupita Nyongo, who, in my opinion, is way out of Joshua Jackson's league? Why is there silence when it comes to her relationship with him? I've noticed that people like to do all of this policing on Black men and saying they're dusty and they're cheaters, and I absolutely agree. You should not be wasting your time with a dusty cheater. But guess what? I'm not intimidated by white men on this channel, so I'm not afraid to call white men dusties as well. Joshua Jackson is the epitome of a dusty. Whiteness does not absolve dusty behaviors, and I think that points to the self-hatred that we see in a lot of Black women empowerment spaces. They love to call out the flaws of MLS women. They love to call out the flaws in other people. But suddenly when it comes to whiteness or white men, seems like they're pretty silent. You know why? Because a lot of women who have inferiority complexes about themselves feel like if they attach themselves to a white man, that it will somehow elevate their status. They feel like hopefully that white privilege will trickle down onto them. And in some cases, these people fetishize mixed race babies, because you know how a lot of people fetishize our phenotype. And so they're hoping that they can swirl and create these mixed race babies, because we already know that when it comes to the Black community, having a mixed baby is a sign of success. This is why you see a lot of Black men who, once they get into the NBA, once they become rich and famous, the first thing they do is they run to some sort of Latin American woman or white woman so that they can create us, exoticals. They want to create mixed race babies. And a lot of people don't want to call out how a lot of unambiguous Black women do the same exact thing. As soon as you get a little money, as soon as you get a little bit of clout, you go and you do your best to create us exoticals. And then you have the audacity to talk about us and call us colorist, texturist, featurist, and racist, when in reality, aren't you being a colorist and a racist by preferring only men who are lighter than you and whiter than you for the most part? And I'm not saying Lupita Nyongo does that, because I know nothing about her dating history, but I've noticed that when it comes to Black men, for example, a lot of people will say, you know, this guy is a colorist because all of his ex-girlfriends are white, or all of his ex-girlfriends have a lighter complexion. But I've noticed we never keep that same energy with unambiguous Black women. Why is that? Why is it that we get to correct every other community except for Black women? I'm not afraid of doing that on this channel, especially because people like to one-drop us into Blackness and call us fellow Black women as well. Okay, so guess what? Then I get to talk about whatever aspects of my identity I see fit. If you don't like it, please let me know in the comment section so that I can permanently ban you from the channel. But I see a lot of people who also talk down on, you know, kind of like being the sloppy seconds of some dusty guy, or like fighting over a guy. But Joshua Jackson, he just recently got a divorce from Jodie Turner-Smith. So why is it that him and Lupita Nyongo are just hopping on the bandwagon and dating one another, and nobody is saying anything negative about it? In fact, I see people praising them and celebrating them. But my opinion is that dust comes in all shades. Dust doesn't only come in the shade of black. Dust doesn't only come when it's an exotical who's dating the guy. So I'm going to predict right now that this relationship is absolutely not going to last long term. If they do ever get married, I do not believe that it will last long term. I personally believe that Joshua Jackson is riding the coattails of Lupita Nyongo, who is way more of an A-list celebrity than he is. In fact, I don't even know why he's famous. I think he was in some 80s TV show or something, but it's giving hypogamy. It's giving dust. It's giving Barbara the Builder. So ladies, do not be like Lupita Nyongo. She is absolutely not a role model of who you should model your dating practices after. And I bring the smoke to everybody on this channel. I'm not afraid to call out white men. I'm not afraid to call out unambiguous black women. I'm not afraid to call out whoever needs to be called out because people love to police what we do. They love to police our relationships and say that we're with Dusties and, oh, that's why the guys we're with are cheaters. I noticed a lot of people were doing this to Cardi B and Future. Like they were making fun of her basically for being with a guy who cheated on her and for being with this guy who has a history of being a serial cheater. But where's that energy for Lupita Nyong'o? Why are people so silent about her relationship with this guy? I don't see anybody warning Lupita Nyong'o or saying, hey, this guy's a Dusty. I don't see black women empowerment content creators saying, hey, don't be like her. Do not fall for a guy and think that his whiteness absolves him from his bad behaviors. Where is that energy? It's the hypocrisy for me. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.